Okay, here I am again. Take two. If you can take multiple takes in Hollywood, you can take multiple takes on Facebook. Why not? So here we are. I think we found the source of the issue on why we couldn't bring Joe on. So we're going to bring Joe on this Facebook Live. And in today's Facebook Live, I've got with me a very special guest speaker. And here he is, Joe Yazbeck. And I'm going to add him. There we go.
Hi.
Here we are.
There we are. We made it. We had the Facebook trap door. Unbelievable.
Well, this is what I love about technology is that it's always evolving. I've got to learn with it. I'm supposedly a social media expert, and I just love Facebook embarrassing me online that I don't know what I know.
You're hard to embarrass, Ed.
Yeah. So anyways, I'm really happy that we're finally creating some content together. And you'll have to excuse the vertical. For whatever reason, the Facebook app changed a couple days ago. I tried doing horizontal. If you've watched my show, Caffeinated Content, I always do it horizontal, but it lost that capability for some reason. I think it'll come back soon. So that being said, I'm going to continue. So as you know, I'm on my feed here, but I've brought on Joe Yazbeck, who I've known for a number of years, and I'm just going to toot his horn for a second. First of all, he's one of the best public speakers I've ever been able to see. He not only that, his book has been translated in a number of languages on the subject of public speaking. I think, what, 8 or 9 languages? Have that right?
8 languages total. Mm-hmm.
8 languages. You've traveled all over Europe as a keynote speaker.
The world.
The world, Europe, America, Asia, and you've consulted huge companies and brands, and also work here in the United States with top doctors, lawyers, CPAs, financial professionals, in teaching them how to really elevate their public speaking presence, mm-hmm. as well as how to come across as a brand and convert more of those people into high-end clientele.
Wow, my job is done here. Thank you very much. Let's get some value and some benefit to people watching. This is great. I love this. First of all, it's highly energetic to have a conversation with you. Always is. And there's always unpredicted surprises, always positive, unpredicted surprises speaking with you.
Thank you.
And so this is, I feel like we're sharing our conversation with the public right now, which is awesome. What do you think we should do next? What kind of conversation would you like to have today?
You know, we talked a few days ago, and you brought up something really, I think it's really important. A lot of people want to get into public speaking to really build their brand. And, you know, I've been able to do public speaking. I want to do more of it. I want to do bigger gigs, really big gigs. You've worked with some top professionals around the world. I'd really like to kind of, maybe you could take people through the top 3 or 4 basics. Because one of the things I really enjoy about talking to you is that you're very grounded in the fundamentals, and you bring them up over and over and over. And you're not into quick fixes. It's like a baseball player, football player who knows about the basics, the footwork, you know, the timing, you know, just like sports guys that are really into the basics. If you could share some of the things that you've shared with me, I think that would be high value.
Well, first of all, my influence is both in athletics and performing arts. And so in coaching people and training them and helping them, you know, it's a matter of the X's and O's. The athletes need to know where they need to be at the time something is happening. And it's a complete interdependence on each other as a team. Same thing with the performing arts. My degree is in theater, and I learned a lot about teamwork because it's such an ensemble art. And if you look at public speaking and communications, it is, for all intents and purposes, an artful science. It's an artful science. It has standard operating procedures scientifically. You have design structure framework of how to outline a presentation for any audience, for any purpose. And you also have the art of expression. You see, the quality of communication that goes into how you affect change in people and how you create this sense of charismatic inspiration and how you motivate people, move them, influence them. And so the combination of those two is unbeatable. That's what I love to teach and coach people to accomplish, whether it be in front of a live audience, in front of a camera, in a live boardroom, in a meeting, a negotiation, hiring someone. There's an art to it, there's a science to it, and it all can be learned. And when it's learned, it makes a huge difference. And so I think that, yeah, please go ahead.
Joe, that was all. I think you bring up a really valuable point, something that people don't appreciate. I mean, and I have to appreciate in a new unit of time all the time. It's not what the skills that you're teaching people in public speaking isn't just for delivering the workshop. It can be used in so many different other applications in life, like negotiating, like selling, like boardroom etiquette, hiring. I mean, there's so many other divisions and departments of the organization that these public speaking skills go way beyond just delivering a live workshop or webinar.
Yeah, Ed, I'll tell you, it's amazing how communication, how pervasive it is and how influential it is in any area of a company. I mean, people rely on it. If communication is suffering in an organization, you have no efficiency, you have really no purpose being actualized in an organization. Look at networking. Salespeople that need to sell, networking, people that need to get out there and communicate. I mean, I've had senior executives that hate going out to the public and introducing themselves. That was the very first thing we've had to train them on. And that is that you are the brand ambassador for your company. You're going to have to reach out and express yourself, your brand, your product, your service, your company, your history, everything about to the public you're trying to attract. Can you imagine not being able to do that and yet having an opportunity? Let's say that a senior executive, CEO, a company owner gets called and said, we want you to speak at this convention. And the very first thought that person has, that executive has, is, I can't risk being embarrassed or humiliated. I better turn it down. And I have to come up with a damn good reason that's acceptable. That's what happens.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate because it's really a make or break. It's the difference between getting along at a company, holding your own, and really assuming the position of leadership or authority in your industry. Yeah.
And you know what's a great example of why the C-level organization, the C-level executive of the organization needs to have that is number one. You take a look at Sir Richard Branson. That guy really leads his brand from the front, right? I mean, he does some wild and crazy things that I may not recommend for all executives. But the point is, he puts himself out there, and he really is the brand ambassador for Virgin Industries and Atlantic and all that. And then number two, our world has become transparent. We're all in the media business now. There's no avoiding.
We are, no doubt.
If you're not friendly, you're losing business, you're losing traction, and it causes questions of like, well, where's the leadership?
You know, if people have to seek hard to find it, something's wrong.
Yeah.
You know, and I encourage every one of my clients, when they get through a good step chunk of my program, that they establish in their businesses a room that I would call the media room. And in that media room, a number of important, valuable functions can be accomplished. Number one, get on camera and promote from the top on down. You're the top of your organization, promote. And get on camera, get out to social media, and have your little drip campaigns going on a regular basis. The other end of it is, my God, you could video journal training
Yeah.
Many functions have different positions in the company, and now you've got yourself a video library with you yourself as the leader now responsible for replacing yourself. Because now you've completely manualized and journalized every position in the company the way it should be run according to your viewpoint as a leader, let's say. Now you can move off that position and create an exit strategy for yourself.
Exactly. And that's where replication and the ability to have others. You know, there's a gentleman out of Australia that I followed, have followed for years. His name is David Jennings, and younger gentleman, very brilliant. And he said exactly what you said, which is document on video how to do something. So if they show somebody how to set a stage, let's say, for a presentation, they'll literally videotape every mechanical action. So if that guy quits and the new person comes in, every part of the promotional process of their business has now been documented and transcribed on video and in writing, and now they have a catalog. Now they don't have to keep teaching over and over. Watch the videos, read the manual. It's all right.
That's
there.
right. Another, so many important reasons to be an effective, dynamic, confident speaker, because it really does. It's a generator that drives your business in more ways than people think, really, than they assume. You see, even from the standpoint of, you know, you have meetings you have to give on a maybe on a weekly basis or a daily basis, what we call maybe production meetings that might be 10 or 15 minutes. That's a presentation, and that is a controlled communication that has to be taken from beginning to end, A to B, right to the result that you're looking for, with everybody winning. You see, that's a production meeting. You have a planning meeting. You have a staff meeting. You have meetings where, you know, I mean, people hate meetings, but there are some meetings that need to take place. But, you know, you can stand up. Look, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Bottom line, first of all, just the fact that you're standing up there with people looking up at you, literally looking up at you, is literal and figurative. They're looking up at you. They have elected you their leader for that time period.
True. And they not only elected you as a leader, they want you to act like a leader.
Exactly.
You know, because when a leader acts, it actually embarrasses the people that are supposed to be being led, right?
It does. And your personality, look at what's a brand? You're the genius in this area. Honestly, I see your work. I've read your book. You're amazing. And you truly are. And I've actually had conversations with people that you have coached and consulted and helped, and you blow them away. And there's something, and I know you have this viewpoint, and that is this: a brand is you. It's you. Who are you? What are you made of? What is this personality that is in front of us? And that's what needs to show up in every way, shape, or form.
Yeah, and not only show up, but I think what you do is, okay, you can build a brand, right? But I think what you're so good at, and I think in your book, what you lay out is how to articulate that. Because you can have a concept of who you are, right? In your mind. Like it's very clear to you what your brand is.
Yeah, it may tell you that if you're not comfortable.
Clear in your website, but it's not, but you got to make it clear in how you articulate in those meetings, at networking, at public seminars, on YouTube videos, whatever it is, that public platform. If you can't articulate it, what does the logo doesn't matter, the tag doesn't matter, because you're killing.
I really appreciate you saying that. That is true. It is really, really true. You have such synthetic, contrived, and I think artificial branding that goes on in some ways that it makes a product or service look like it's set up with plastic PVC.
Yeah, totally.
I don't know. You know, like it's screaming to say, "Let me out." You know, it's wild, because how in the hell can a speaker connect to an audience if that speaker is not showing up in the most authentic way? You're not going to connect to anything. You're not going to connect to your audience that you're trying to attract. And I can say that you said something very important. The primary purpose of speaking is to be understood. Mm-hmm. Number one, you say articulated. Mm-hmm. Primary purpose. Are you being understood? Are you clear? Are you getting your point? Number two, are they getting the purpose of what you're trying to get across? And are you moving them and inspiring them to take action as the call to action is intended to do? You're calling them to take action. There are lawyers, financial services people, technologists, all of these individuals, healthcare professionals that stand up in front of audiences and their conversion rates are terrible. You see, the first thing I say is, tell me what your conversion rate is. And they smile and they go, oh, I got it up to 7.5%. And a half? 7 single-digit conversion rates, and they're happy with it.
Or they don't even know. A lot of times they don't know. They say, well, we're brand building. We just put it out there. We're building our brand. And they have zero accountability or expectations for their talks. The
statistic that measures how much quality a speaker is creating is that conversion rate. A conversion rate is this: number of attendees divided by number of appointments made by those attendees. Okay, that's a conversion rate. You can also take that conversion rate and say, okay, the number of people that showed up from those appointments to closes. That's another conversion rate. You have an earlier conversion rate. The amount of attendees that say they're coming and show up. That's a marketing conversion rate, but it's still presentational.
Yep.
You see? So you have these conversion rates, and I say, up them, up them, up them. What are you doing on the phone? How are you promoting on camera to get people to arrive? Once you're there, it's the pre-seminar or workshop, and then it's the workshop itself, then it's the post-workshop, and these all have conversion rates. And of course, they all need to be surveyed.
The sales funnel in reality has got 3 major parts. A, getting them excited to even come to the webinar or seminar, right? The marketing, the drip campaign that you make. Then there's the actual presentation where you convert where you're trying to make the major conversion, which is appointments or sales, depending on how you market it.
Right.
And then number 3, what about all the people that didn't buy? And are you going to continue to market to them? Because we know in many industries, some people have a lag. It isn't that they didn't like it or don't buy it. It's just they don't plan on buying it right now. Like Les Dane said, there's 3 types of prospects: the right now prospect, the later prospect, and the never prospect, right?
Correct.
And some people are later. So are you doing that follow-up with your presentation to get them back and buy?
That's why it's so important to record those presentations, automate them if need be, whether they're webinars, live, or what have you, and send them out again. Keep them, as you say, I guess the word is evergreen.
Yeah.
Right? And the idea here is to continuously communicate. That's the key. Continue to communicate. Continue to communicate. People say, I don't want to overwhelm people. I don't want to give them. What the hell are you doing by giving them nothing? You're giving nothing by not communicating.
I have a statement, which is, communicate like hell. They're either going to buy or they're going to opt out.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And if they're going to opt out, they're going to opt out. But to the guys that don't opt out, you keep communicating, like you say, a much higher percentage of them will convert just because of the continuation.
That's right. And those individuals are having a tough time getting their butts in the seats, getting people's butts in the seats. I say this, and that is, what are you communicating about? What is the purpose of this workshop? What is the purpose of this event? What is the purpose of the webinar? Public relations, the key to public relations is messages that communicate purpose. You see, and what's in it for me?
Simple. I want you to say that again. I think that is so key, because we hear about public relations and, it's public, and there's a dark side to public relations because people don't understand it, right? I just refer to propaganda. And then there's real public relations, which is, communicating to people, right?
Right.
So tell me I want you to say that again and really go in depth on that. I think that's so critical. People get that point.
Well, it is. Purposes are what your company exists for. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. Why are you doing what you're doing? For example, I mean, if I don't communicate the fact that I create highly reputable, respected, and widely recognized authorities in their industry, that's my purpose. I want people to know that's what I do. Every message that go out must communicate that. And that's what public relations is. That's the reality that I'm communicating from. Which will do what? If people agree with me, there's more chance, there's a higher probability they'll like what I'm talking about. Which is what? Yep. Which is trust. You see? So you're increasing trust, you're increasing accord by the fact that what I'm communicating is, in fact, a purpose. And the message is, why am I here? What am I doing? What is the purpose of this conversation you and I are having? The purpose of this conversation is to increase awareness and provide tools that people can use when they leave here so that they can be able to implement them and apply them and get more results and become more efficient. That's what it's about,
that's one of the things I love working with individuals like yours. Excuse me, is it's about pragmatism. We can talk about these high level words and concepts and public relations and public speaking, but in reality, what we want is something I know how you teach, how I teach. We want people to walk away with something that they'll actually do, right, that will change the condition.
Yeah, there's
in that.
Yeah, you're right. Completely, totally agree with you. You bet.
What are some people that are here? They're watching Facebook Live. I'm going to obviously upload it to YouTube. People will watch the video from years from now. Can you give me some rich nuggets of some real valuable tips, strategies that people can walk away from this talk that they can apply and start to elevate their game when it comes to presentations or public speaking?
Yeah, you could say something. Here's something I think is extremely simple and easy to apply. Know your public, who you're trying to attract. What are the problems they're trying to solve? Write them down in bullet points. Write down what are the problems in that industry they're trying to solve. Write down a separate list of bullet points. What are the benefits and values you can give them? These are benefit statements. So in your 1-minute video, focus on one problem and then give them some tips to help them solve it. You're giving them an educational touch point and increasing trust and accord and likability in that communication, right from the purpose message you're expressing.
Yeah, great.
So I think right there you've got 12 different videos that you're posing the problem, the pain of the problem, right? And the consequences if they should do nothing. If they do nothing, what's going to happen? It's going to get worse. Okay? Yeah. Well, what is it like? I mean, if I constantly are taking medication to handle a physical problematic condition, what's going to happen to my liver? What's going to happen to my sleep? What's going to happen to my work? My body's going to deteriorate. I'm not going to be able to make love to my wife. Okay, well, we won't go any further than that. But it's affecting me in a way.
But that's the real problem, though.
And it's the ripple effect of the problem and the pain.
Totally.
You can get that across in 1 minute of a 1-minute video of why people should call you.
Yep.
You move them right up the scale to reaching for your solution and saying, call me, we'll sit down, let's talk about it. I've got a 3-step program I think you'd be interested in. In 1 minute,
yeah.
That. But you've 12 to 13 different videos promoting.
Somebody in my Facebook feed said, Joe, you both should go on the road together. What a team.
All right, we're taking, anybody want to be a producer? Executive producers now wanted. Yeah,
Okay, great.
there's something electric in the fact that there's no lag between us, Ed.
I know. Hey, so, and I know philosophically we share a lot together
Sure.
in terms of how to improve life and how to improve ourselves. Number two, what is another little nugget that when you're sitting down, and I know you work with like 6-7 figure executives, CEOs who are like, they're doing major presentations for major brands, and you'd think they got these really high-end problems, but really they got basic
They have
problems
basic
that
problems. I had a CEO of a major, this company, I won't tell you the name of the company or the person. This company manufactures all of the circuit boards and chips for Intel and companies like that, right? And anyway, this is a major CEO. This person did not like to socialize in public. And you talk about undercut, right? I mean, did not like to go out and meet people, blah, 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 blah. There was some ideas. You have to actually ask questions when you're talking to people. You can ask questions of an audience. You can watch an audience. The best speakers in the world, and I love training them in this way, are speakers that listen and observe. You see? They listen and observe. And they're very, very good perceivers of their audiences. And you don't want to over-assume anything. Sometimes you have to undercut. And I've undercut. When I say undercut, I say you have to bring down the level where they can confront or face something comfortably and then bring them back up. And that's really part of good coaching. And I've done this in the audience.
That's art. That's art.
It is an art. And I
cool.
teach that. I teach that as an art. There's an art to coaching. Yeah, you're good at this. I've seen you actually, quote unquote, resolve and handle situations with people with an artful, diplomatic approach that people think, did he just do that? Or how did that happen? You see? Funny.
It's Jedi.
So I think that don't assume anything when you, the very first thing I love to have speakers do is just get their ability to look. Get them to open up and look. Because if you don't look, you can't open up space to include anybody in it.
Right.
Look, don't think. Look around, perceive. Extend way out there. Extend your reach way out there. You'll be amazed at how big you can get as an individual, because you know the difference between someone who walks into a room and adds to it and someone who takes away from it. You know,
totally.
You know, and that has to do with the amount of space that person can create in the room that they should be owning fully.
Yeah, it really is. I remember watching an interview with Bono, lead singer of U2. I'm a big U2 fan, and I've seen them 5 times live in concert. The first time I saw them was in 1983, before they became big, right?
Wow.
And I remember seeing Bono, and he walked on that stage. That dude owned the room.
He did.
I mean, you could just feel. And this is when he was like 22 years old. But he walked on stage with like, I am the leader of this band, and I am literally going to rock your world. And he just owned it. And I think that's, you could say U2 are great songwriters. Yes. They're great musicians. Yes. But Bono has that it factor, and it begins by just owning the room. And I think you bring up, and we kind of think, oh yeah, owning the room. Oh yeah, that's interesting. But it's such a vital thing that if you, and I know you taught people how to do this, when you've really got that fundamental in on your public speaking or networking, it changes the
you know
whole...
what's interesting about that? I'll give you an example, and then I may need to cut out because I'm just realizing I'm on my phone and I've got so much charge left. Well, you know what?
Well, we can do another one later.
I have to tell you, I was working with a judge candidate, and she's now a judge. I was very proud of her. What turned the corner for her was a coaching session I had, and I remember this. I said to her, Kathy, don't try to become the judge when you're speaking. Be the judge. There's no such thing as becoming. There's only being.
Yeah.
You see? And from that moment, she started tracking attracting audiences to her and getting lots of feedback. Her husband even said to me in a phone call, that made a huge difference. And she got appointed judge. This was here in Pinellas County.
Wow.
I'll never forget that. And so people try to become something rather than just assume. I am now the judge. And so she started talking like a judge. They bought into it.
Well, you know, and it's like, I know that this, and one last point here, I know this could be an inflammatory topic, but, you know, why not? We're on social media. So
let's
whether you like the man or not, and I'm not here to comment on the man, but he became president of the United States, and he was media friendly. And I told people, whether you enjoy the man or not, what you have to appreciate is he walked in, he owned the conversation, controversy or no controversy. The fact of the matter, he's a very media savvy man, and he became president of the United States. And here's my point. If you could become media savvy, maybe you'll rise to higher aspirations and positions in life.
You do. It's an art and a science. Learn it, develop it. You know, you could really, a lot of people don't understand the power of that, what you just said. There's power in it. And if you want to own the space of the industry that you are in, it's time to communicate like a leader and become a recognized authority.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, okay, I think this is a good point to end off for a number of reasons. I think we brought a good close to this talk. Your battery's running out. But this did a lot better. Not that I expected it to go bad, but this actually was much better than. We're definitely going to do this more often.
Yeah, what do you think, everybody? Should we do this more often? How often should we do this? You want to do a little survey? Tell us how often we should do this, and maybe you want to type in some topics we should talk about. Okay?
Yeah. I think what we could do is, like I branded caffeinated content, I think we could do something around what we talked about earlier, which is how to present and convert.
I like
right?
that. Present to convert. That's a good one. That's a good one.
How do we convert? And that presentation can go way beyond just the seminar or the website, like how to network, how to run a sales meeting, how to hire people more effectively, how to build a personal brand, etc. I think this is such a vital topic of how do I take advantage and really present myself, particularly in the age of digital media and transparency that we live in.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. And by the way, you know, I'm going to get debased here and offer my free stuff. I have free stuff on my website if anybody wants to go to it.
Can you tell me what your website is?
It's nofearspeaking.com. Either site, there's two sites, No Fear Speaking and prestigeleader.com has 30 No Fear Speaking tips that you can download for free.
Wow. Okay, great. So nofearspeaking.com and Prestige Leadership?
No, Prestige Leader.
Prestige Leader.
Prestigeleader.com and nofearspeaking.com. You bet.
Great. One other thing, Joe, yeah. I think you know, the fact that you kind of name dropped your websites is an opportunity. There's probably individuals just like myself that have a lot of followers that maybe you could get on their feed as well, right?
I agree.
That, you know, there were some people on here like Patrick Loudon and some other business leaders where maybe you can, I think this is and I'm going to look into this more as well. It's like, you know, this is the first time I've done Facebook Live with another individual. I've always done it like just camera, hot cup of coffee, caffeinated content. Right?
Hey, baby, it's communication at a high level. And this is what we need to continue to do. And we should do more of it, even higher levels in quality. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
You know?
All right. So, well, I had a blast. I think everybody, looking at the comments, we got, like, if this was Yelp, we got 5 stars across the board.
Oh my gosh, I see my sisters here. I see Seal and Anne Marie. I got 2 of my fantastic, great looking sisters on this one. I don't know who else is on there, but I had to make a plug for my 2 sisters.
Right. Oh, you see, on Facebook Live, we bring families together.
That's right. That's right. Exactly. All right. That's funny. Let's do this again soon.
Absolutely, sir.
Okay, man.
We'll talk. Done.
Bye-bye. Adios,
Bye.
everybody.